In this lesson, we're going to be using subgrids to enhance our table forms. We're going to start by seeing how subgrids help improve our user experience. And then going to move on to an exercise where we add a subgrid to the location table and add a subgrid to the service area table. In the image on the right hand side, we can see we're selected on the plumbing service area. And in the table below, it's showing us just those items that relate to plumbing that are outstanding at the moment. These are the jobs that we need to do now. In the absence of a subgrid, we would need to select the related tab, choose the correct table, and then also alter the view. So having subgrids simplifies that process significantly. It's very straightforward to implement and really useful for the users of our model-driven app. So let's move over to an exercise where we introduce subgrids into our forms. I'm in my developer environment and I'm going to navigate to Solutions. Then I'm going to select the School Maintenance Solution. And then I'm going to select on Tables. And the table I want to update is the Service Area table. Select on the table. And then select on the forms associated with the table. Select Forms. And we'll go on to the main information form. The desired behavior is that when we arrive on this form for, say, building, is that we can see all of the outstanding jobs that we need to do, as well as all of the historical jobs. We'll do that using subgrids, and the way to get to it is to select on the burger, and then on to components. I'm going to drag in a one-column section into this form. I'm going to call this section Outstanding Items. And then I'm going to drag a subgrid into this new section. It's automatically suggested maintenance logs with respect to this service area, but it could have chosen any one of many related tables. We're going to select this, and I'm going to change the view. I want it to show me the outstanding maintenance logs. Select Done. I'm going to hide the label. I'm also going to collapse the burger. That gives us more space. Now I'm going to select on the subgrid. I'm going to scroll down. And in terms of the maximum number of rows, I'm going to say use all available space. I'm now going to go through the same process again, but I'm going to show historical items. I need to scroll down to the bottom. I'm going to bring in a one-column section. Scroll down. I'll call this section Historical Items. Then I'm going to drag a subgrid down into the new section. This time it's suggested bulk delete failures. It's not the table I require. I'm going to select on maintenance logs. And it's going to be the default view of active maintenance logs, all the maintenance logs we've ever had. I'm going to select Done. And with the subgrid selected, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and I'm going to say use all available space. I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to hide the label once more. If we'd rather present the historical items in a separate tab, we can add a new tab, a one-column tab, move back to General, go down to the historical items, drag this onto New tab, and take the section that's been presented with us. I'm going to remove this section. I'm going to change the tab name to be Historical Items. I'm going to move back to the General tab. I'm happy with what I'm seeing here, so I'm going to select Save and Publish. I can now select back, move on to the apps, and then select play. We can make a temporary change to this view. We're going to put the service area towards the top and then select apply. We can now see that out of our 10 items, 3 of them are plumbing, 3 of them are electrical, 3 of them are other, and 1 is building. If I move on to service areas and then select plumbing, Subgrid indicates that there is 1 outstanding item. If we look at the historical items, we can see that we've had 3 in total. We can go back to general. We can navigate back onto issue 1008, which hasn't been completed. And then we can add a completion date. Put the completion date for the 20th of January, and then save and close. Now we have no outstanding items, and the historical items includes all 3. This is a very straightforward example, but if we consider that with Dataverse and model-driven apps, we can be looking at hundreds of tables and millions of records, there's a very powerful system that leverages the data model that we've created. So in this lesson, we use subgrids to enhance table forms. I hope you agree with me in thinking that subgrids are a really great thing that you can use within your model-driven apps to make them really user-friendly. I'll see you in the next lesson.